Kyle Larson wins in Darlington, but Tyler Reddick, Kevin Harvick, Alex Bowman, and Daniel Suarez, not to mention Kevin Harvick, all have some significant storylines that we got to talk about it, so let's get into it. Coming up next. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. All right, Kyle Larson gets the win. He locks himself into the next round of the playoffs. We're going to get into that in just a minute. Win number 299, I think, for Hendrick, and the 500th win for the Hendrick Engine Shop. So big day for Hendrick, big day for Kyle Larson, big playoff implications for him, but it was not a day without drama. So let's get to the Suarez-Bowman thing first. So Alex Bowman goes down and blocks Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez then tries to move up. Alex Bowman moves up and blocks him there too. Whether or not it was on purpose or not, according to Alex Bowman, we don't know. But we do know this. It was a terrible move by Alex Bowman, and it begs into the question, does this type of driving need to be penalized too? We've seen people in the past, most recently I think Bubba Wallace, get suspended for intentionally wrecking people. Should we start to take a look at intentionally blocking somebody that bad? Do you get a suspension for that too? Because it caused another terrible wreck there. So both of them are fairly dangerous. Is this something that NASCAR is going to look at in the future to possibly suspend people for aggressive blocking or just poor driving on the track? Speaking of which, let's get to the Tyler Reddick incident. And Tyler Reddick leading the race. Kevin Harvick was in second. Kevin Harvick goes for the undercut on the pit strategy, and when he did that, Tyler Reddick's spotter, I guess, told him late. Tyler Reddick, no chance of making pit road, but slams on the brakes anyway and catches Ryan Newman off guard. I mean, how could Ryan Newman have planned for that? The guy literally stopped on the straightaway in the racing groove and causes Ryan Newman to wreck. It completely shot Kevin Harvick's day. I think he got up to 19th or 20th, somewhere like that. So he had a bad day after having, basically, he had a really good chance to win the race if this doesn't happen. So basically, the guy who made the mistake driving does not get penalized in Tyler Reddick, and the guy who didn't make the mistake at all, Kevin Harvick, gets penalized for basically doing what he was supposed to do. I don't know what NASCAR does about this in the future. They could either look at if the guy can't go off of pit road without, disobeying the choose cone or whatever, not the choose cone, but the orange cone that you get penalized if you go across it. Maybe you're locked into the pits then, no matter when the red light comes on. So I don't know. It's a really weird situation. But once again, going back to the Bowman thing, it's basically a brake check. So should NASCAR look at brake checking or something like that and possibly do a drive-through penalty or something like that on that? I don't know. But it was definitely one of those. It'll probably never happen again. But it's definitely a weird situation where the guy that made the mistake actually penalized the guy that was doing the right thing. And I don't know. Kevin Harvick winning that race would have been huge. As you'll see later today, I finally got to my picks. Actually, kind of a good thing that Kevin Harvick didn't win, as you'll see in those picks, because people would have been like, "Oh, you're just picking him because he won." No, but anyway, moving on. The last thing I wanted to cover was Denny Hamlin with the loose wheel. The team, the pit crew, said the loose wheel didn't exist, and Denny Hamlin swore over and over that it was a loose wheel. So that's going to be an interesting thing to track going forward. So apparently, depending on who you believe there, Denny Hamlin either had a loose wheel or didn't have a loose wheel, but he had the race under control before that particular situation happened. He got mired back in traffic, was a lap down at one point. Ends up getting caught up in the Bowman-Suarez deal, so he ended up having a bad day as well. Speaking of which, let's look at good race, bad race. Kyle Larson, of course, has the good race, locks himself into the playoffs. Tyler Reddick finishes second, good race for him. Christopher Buescher, good race for him. Chris Buescher, whatever you want to call him. William Byron finishes fourth, good race for him. Continues a very strong season. Ross Chastain, interesting race, was not good early on, but ends up finishing in fifth place. They improved on the car over the course of the race. Brad Keselowski gets sixth place, continues that strong RFK performance. Both RFK cars in the top 10 in the playoffs. They're trending the right way at the right time. Bubba Wallace, who a lot of people have going out in the first round of the playoffs, gets a good finish here, finishes seventh. Chase Elliott, the first non-playoff driver, with an eighth place finish. Ryan Blaney is ninth. And Eric Jones continues to show that he is the absolute man at Darlington, finishes in 10th place in what can only be called lackluster equipment at this point, and Kyle Busch finishes 11th. Now on to bad race. Martin Truex Jr. ends up finishing 18th. He looked like he was out of the racetrack the entire day. They just showed up with no speed. I don't know what happened there. Kevin Harvick, the aforementioned, of course, he finished in 19th. So bad race for him. He needed a good finish today, and he was basically robbed of that with the with the brake check gate, or whatever you want to call it. Brake gate, I think, is what Danny B called it on Twitter. And Denny Hamlin ends up finishing, I think, 25th. Denny Hamlin ends up finishing 25th, so bad day for him. But he did get the 2 stage wins, so he did get at least 20 points off of that. But yeah, that's all I got for you on this one. Oh, maybe not. Let's take a look at the playoff standings. Maybe we should do that, huh? Here are the playoff standings after the first race. Let's just jump to the cut line because Kyle Larson locks himself in. Then you've got Bubba Wallace below the cut line, Kevin Harvick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Michael McDowell all under the cut line. Michael McDowell at minus 19 there. He's going to need some serious help to get back in this thing. But Christopher Bell, the first man the last person in right now at +1, +3 for Joey Logano, +13 for Ross Chastain, 16 for Blaney, 18 for Keselowski, Kyle Busch +20, and Martin Truex Jr., who has dominated this season, is only +25 right now, so he cannot have another bad race because he has basically cut that nice margin he had basically in half. Everybody else in pretty good shape to advance to the next round, I would say, without something crazy happening. All right, that's all I got for you on this one. If you made it this far, I would love to have your subscription. If you're already subscribed, you know I appreciate you guys as well. If you got a question, comment, or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section. I haven't been able to get to the comments the last few days, but we will get back to them starting today. And if you want to help out the channel, we got the merch store. The link is down in the description. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace.